Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Ford Transit Custom camper conversion. So starting at the back of the driver's side of the vehicle, you've got your mains connectivity point for 240 volt. So when connecting, lift the collar, expose the ends, and then slide on here, and then unhook, push the blue clip down, and then you can pull the hooker bleed out of the vehicle. Always hook the vehicle up first, then the side, and do it in reverse when unhooking, because you don't want to be walking around with a live lead. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your parking sensors. Your table lives here when you want to store it away. Got storage in there. And then storage underneath the bed, and then there's a full size wheel spare underneath, and you'd use a special tool in there to release the wheel down. Going round to the passenger side of the vehicle, you've got your sliding door. And then at the door of the passenger side, you'll find your fuel. So it's diesel fuel, and you just pop it in, it's capless, reacts to the metal on the diesel filler, and it'll open and fill with fuel. Got your weights here, so 2.7 ton this vehicle. It's gross vehicle weight. Then your train weight is 5,100 kilograms, so 5.1 ton, and then you've got your front and back axle weights. To turn the passenger seat airbag off, if you're planning on putting a car seat in there at all, you'd use the key and turn it off. Your leisure batteries underneath your passenger seat, and on the Transits the engine batteries underneath the driver's seat. And then to open the bonnet, you'd use the key, pop it in the front there, turn it to the left first, which pops the bonnet, and then to release the bonnet from its second catch, turn it to the right, and you'll be able to pop the bonnet up. You've got all your fluids this side, so you've got your screen wash, your power steering fluid, your brake fluid reservoir, your oil, dipstick, and your fillers just behind here, so it's just down there. And then you do have your coolant, radiator coolant here. If you ever needed to jump start the vehicle as it become flat, or you wanted to jump start something off this vehicle, earth off the engine loop here, hoist, and then positive off there, and then under here you've got all your relays and fuses for the cab side. Inside the vehicle, this is your main 12 volt control panel. So if you're hooked up, you will have mains 240 volt, and a 3-pin plug socket will work. If not, you'll just have 12 volt off whatever charge is in your leisure battery. So to turn on and off, this is your master switch at the top left, and then clicking L, which is the leisure battery, you always want to run off this battery. You can see the leisure battery reading. Click V, which is the vehicle battery, the Ford Transit battery, and you can see the level of the Ford battery. But always make sure that you're running the motorhome off the leisure side, because you wouldn't want to flatten the Ford battery, because then if you go to start the vehicle and it doesn't start, you'll not be very happy. You've got your pump, so you must turn your pump on for your cold water feed on the tap, and then you've got your light switch for the light inside the vehicle. Your other lights, so these spotlights, you just tap on and off, and they're controlled by your hand. In the kitchen, you've got your cold water fed tap, which works off a jerry can. So make sure in here, underneath this false panel, is your jerry can, so it's your fresh water feed. So make sure that you've got enough water in there before you turn the pump on, otherwise you can fry the pump out. And then in this cupboard here, you've got your waste. So your waste all goes into that one. And then there's a door on here, so remove the door and you can turn your gas bottle on and off through here. Should you need to change it, you need to drag it out, and then all you need to do is unscrew the bottle from the regulator, the bottle top regulator. This is a Camping Gas 907 bottle, and then we do advise that you turn it off when you do travel, just in case you're involved in any collision with the vehicle, that it is safe. And that you always securely put the door back on by turning the two black pins. You've also got two gas hobs there, so once you've used them, allow it to cool down before you put the lids down. And then 12-volt compression fridge. So this will work if you're hooked up or you're not, because it's running off your leisure battery. And obviously you can downgrade 240 to 12-volt, charging a 12-volt battery, but you can't do it the other way around. So you've got a small freezer box. You can turn it on and off from here. So 0 to 7 being the highest temperature. When you do leave the vehicle parked up and you're not using it as a camper, we do advise that you leave the door open and clean it out so it doesn't grow mold or bacteria in the fridge. So always make sure that you've cleaned it out and you've just left the door open ajar. Got a handy drawer for your cutlery, some storage above, concertina door there, so with some shelves. Storage at the back, but this is your charger unit. So this charges the battery when the 240 mains hookup is on board. So you've got all your trip switches there, so should you trip the vehicle out with a 230 socket, try here before you try your main site. And then you do have this side all your 12-volt fuses, which are listed on the front of the panel here, what does what. So it would be a good idea to carry some spare blade fuses with you, and you can replenish the fuse that is blown. At the front of the bed you've got storage, which you can access from the back as well, which I've shown you on the walk round. But to fold the bed down from the travelling seats, you've got a lever here, so you push it up. So the lever here pushes down, and then what you can do is you can slide it forward. So it slides forward, and then just slide it forward, and then put the weight in the middle. Put your weight down on it, and there it has created the double bed out of the rock and roll bed. And then you would just press that lever again to slide it up. The table just slides onto this bar here, and you can push these clips in for when you're using it if you're travelling anybody in the back and they want the table. But when you don't, obviously pull them clips forward, it'll lift off, you'll press this in and fold the leg down, and then it will store neatly on the back door here. The two seats do turn around, but please note with the driver's seat the handbrake does get in the way, so what you've got to do is pop it in the opposite gear so the vehicle's not going to roll away. Release the handbrake and then you'll be able to turn the seat. So on both of them, just underneath you've got a red lever, so that'll turn to the front. You would pull the red lever out, turn the seat, adjust the driving position to get the seat round, but always make sure that the seat is always locked in, and you hear a click before you start driving the vehicle, because you don't want the seat to not be locked in, as it can become dangerous. If you pull the bedboard down on gas struts, forms the base for the bed, and then you can fit 2 people up here sleeping, so you can get 4 people sleeping in the vehicle and 4 people travelling. But then when you want to pull the roof down, what you'll need to do is get a hold of both of the handles, pull it down so far, and then just pull the canvas in, because you don't want the canvas to be trapped between the body of the van and the roof, because it could damage it. So pull it in, and then what you'll want to do pull it down, roll some of this up, and then pull the roof down like so. And then you'll need to strap it down. So there's 2 of these straps. You put it in through here, which is the roof, and through the frame of the vehicle. Make sure you get it the right way first of all, so that you've got the clip to the outside. Pull it tight, and then just wrap the excess strap around a few times before going through the middle of it and pulling it tight. And you want to do exactly the same on the other side before you start travelling. And then it's probably worth just going outside just to see if you have got any canvas trapped, which you won't, but it's always worth a check before you start driving down the road. And this will mean that your roof is secure and the wind isn't going to catch it, and it isn't going to pop up when you are travelling. So now in the cab, you've got on your doors, you've got your electric windows, passenger and driver, and your mirror adjustment, but they are powerful, so if you just pull it back, the mirrors will tuck in neatly if you've got a small space to get into with the vehicle. Pull it back, they'll pop back out. And then to lock the doors on a night, you just press the padlock here. So you've got one on the driver's side and one on the passenger side, so it doesn't matter what side presses the button, it will lock the driver, passenger, back doors and the sliding door. Got your lights here, so I would just leave them on automatic, and then you do have your headlight adjustment, front and rear fogs, and then this is just adjusts the screen and the brightness of it when the lights are on. Wipers, indicators. This goes through the infotainment screen here, so the little your trip computer screen. So it'll tell you your miles per gallon, your average speed, your range, your miles covered, your instant miles per gallon, and then if you go back and down one, you can go to systems check, and if there's any problems with the vehicle, it would come up there. And then you've got your settings, but that's all explained in the handbook, so I'll keep it nice and simple. Underneath you've got all your steering wheel controls, so you've got your volume, your answer and decline a call, your voice command, and skipping a CD, track or radio channel. And at this side you've got your limiter, so speed limiter where you'd set this side, so it'd say lim set miles per hour, and you'd go up or down, so it goes up in 5 mile an hour increments. Or you can go and press the right hand side of the button in the middle, which will say, turn that off first, then press it. And it'll say set miles per gallon, miles per hour of the cruise control. So that's when you can go up or down, and should you cancel the cruise control off, you can cancel here and resume there, or you can cancel with a foot brake should somebody have cut in and you've had to slam the brakes on. All of this is controls here from the steering wheel. 6-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar into reverse, which brings on the parking distance sensors at the back. You've got your distribution, air conditioning, temperature, fan speed and recirculation button. 12 volt. To use the head unit, so you turn on and off here, and you've got your volume. CD, if you put a CD in. Radios, FM, AM and DAB, and you can press 1 and 9 to save your favourite channels by pressing and holding and waiting for the beep to say it's saved. You've got auxiliary, which if you lift this up here, you've got a USB, a 12 volt and a 3.5 milli jack auxiliary input. So the 12 volt does work well if you're going to use a sat nav, because you can feed the wire out of here via the wire hole and stick it to the dashboard, and the wire looks nice and neat on the dashboard. So you can connect a USB and a 3.5 milli jack in there, and that works auxiliary. Phone, it'll say no phones paired, please add a phone. So you want to press this button here, add a phone. You
Search for sync on your device and enter the pin provided by sync.
You want to find sync on your device and enter the pin that is displayed on the screen here, and then it will connect, and it'll probably ask if you want your contacts to be saved. Just press download and it'll download in the head unit. You've got your hazards underneath, and then just to the side of the rev count, as it's a Ford, you benefit from the heated windscreen, which will clear a windscreen in no time at all.